What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including fallout from the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, cancelled Money in the Bank plans, more details on Alberto Del Rio's arrest, Otis's cash-in plans revealed, news on WWE's next pay-per-view, Sting in AEW, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. But hit the intro because it's now time for the news. Our first story looks at more details on Alberto Del Rio's recent arrest. As expected, more details are emerging concerning Alberto Del Rio's recent arrest in Texas for assault. WrestlingNews.co posted an update on the case, saying the victim of says the assault happened after Alberto became angry when she would not admit to infidelity. Alberto then allegedly made her wear a dress and dance for him, and then he allegedly told her not to cry, because if she did, then she would take her son and drop him off in the middle of the road somewhere. The arrest record states that Alberto tied the woman's hands with boxing straps and then put a sock in her mouth for her for several hours with various objects. The arrest report also states that he caused several injuries to the woman after punching her in the back. She cannot remember anything else that happened after he put his hands around her throat. As noted in our previous video on Del Rio's arrest, you can expect more details to come out concerning the case, and that's exactly what has happened. Keep in mind these are allegations and nothing has been proven at this point. However, this apparently isn't Del Rio's first arrest, as WrestlingNews.co's Paul Davis is reporting. According to arrest reports in San Antonio, Jose Rodriguez Chacon, Alberto Del Rio, was arrested on August 7, 2019 for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He posted a $20,000 bond to get out of jail. There's no word on the status of that case. There's also confusion over whether Del Rio is still in police custody or whether he was released either on bond or his own recognizance. Again, we'll continue to update you once we have more details. Next up, is Sting coming to AEW? Is wrestling legend Sting coming to All Elite Wrestling? While this is nothing but speculation, a tweet by the Stinger to AEW Executive Vice President Cody Rhodes has fans talking. After current AEW star Lance Archer tweeted, "Always wanted to step in the ring with Sting." Sting replied, "Just glad to see you're getting a much deserved shot in All Elite Wrestling." Cody replied with a wide eye emoji, leading to fans salivating at the thought of an appearance by WCW's top babyface in All Elite Wrestling. While Sting is reportedly unable to wrestle, an appearance by the Stinger could help the company get publicity, much as it did when Bret the Hitman Hart unveiled the AEW Championship at 2019's Double or Nothing pay-per-view. While the thought of Sting might seem silly based on a Twitter exchange, a recent story by Ringside News suggests there might be something to the speculation. Sting was apparently pulled from the upcoming Mattel Legends line. The major wrestling figure Twitter account released an apparent reason given for Sting not being included in this series. He is apparently not available for them now. Due to the circumstances out of our control, Sting needed to be removed from the Legends Series 7. We'll look to include this figure in the future wave if he becomes available to us again. Could these circumstances be the man called Sting coming to AEW? Would you like to see Sting in the promotion? Let us know your thoughts down below. Next up, Otis's Money in the Bank cash-in plans revealed. Otis's surprise win at Money in the Bank has fans wondering what the big man's plans are for cashing in his briefcase. During an interview with Digital Spy's Stephanie Chase, Otis explained what he'd do if he won the event. "If I get the briefcase, we're challenging for the tag team titles. I don't think there's a rule of what titles to challenge for, so we're going to challenge for the tag team titles, cash it in, and that's what's going to happen, if I can get up that ladder." Now with any luck, Mandy Rose will talk some sense into Otis, as why not use his briefcase to cash in for the 24/7 championship while he's at it? Okay, that would be a ridiculous cash in, but then again, Otis is a bit of a lovable idiot. Who knows, he might even do that. The interview also contained an interesting story about a security guard spearing then 10-year-old Otis when he tried to get Trish Stratus to slap his hand. It hurt, every bit of it hurt. I was a 200-pound 5th grader. I look like a man almost. Otis claims he was comped tickets for the next show, so in hindsight, it wasn't all bad. Next up, shorter shows. Fans were surprised when Money in the Bank went off the air less than 2.5 hours of the main show airing. Several news sites noted that this is the shortest pay-per-view in decades, with Ringside News' Felix Upton noting, WWE's 2020 Money in the Bank pay-per-view this year was 2 hours and 24 minutes long. This is the shortest WWE pay-per-view since 2002's Insurrection event in the UK which was 2 hours and 23 minutes long. That event was in the United Kingdom, but they also came close to breaking their shortest record for a United States pay-per-view as well. The 1990 Survivor Series event was 2 hours and 21 minutes in length. However, the shortest pay-per-view is still 2006's December to Dismember pay-per-view, arguably the worst WWE pay-per-view ever. That show clocked in at around 2 hours and 14 minutes on the WWE Network. Either way, Money in the Bank was an unusually brief show, and according to Ringside News' Paul Davis, that will be the new normal as Vince McMahon wanted a shorter show, and the plan is for pay-per-view times to be shorter until they can get fans back in the arena. And we love this idea. Shorter pay-per-views means less of a burnout. Especially for us here in the UK when pay-per-views can sometimes finish at 4 in the morning. I love WWE pay-per-views, but I don't want to be still up watching wrestling whilst the birds are singing outside. Next up, cancelled Money in the Bank plans. The Climb the Corporate Ladder match was fun with various WWE superstars battling all over WWE's headquarters, with quite a few things getting smashed along the way. However, when Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles stumbled their way into Vince McMahon's office, they were careful, avoiding disturbing anything and even straightening up some chairs they made a mess of. Well, there was a reason for this, as Paul Davis of WrestlingNews.co reported, "I was told that a writer suggested having wrestlers fight in Vince's office, but Vince was not on board with having his office trashed because he doesn't want anyone near the dinosaur bones on his wall." Speaking of dinosaurs, Vince McMahon is looking incredibly old. The stress of the past few months seems to have worn away at the face that once seemed to laugh at Father Time. Next up, another taped match. Although there were reports that Money in the Bank would feature live matches with the exception of the men's and women's ladder match, there are reports that Braun Strowman vs Bray Wyatt was taped. According to WrestlingNews.co, WWE taped the Bray Wyatt vs Braun Strowman match in advance. The reason for this was that they didn't want to risk accidentally showing the puppeteers on camera when Bray's puppets appeared during the match. Whether they showed them or not, do they really think that we believe that they're real puppets? Well, it's still interesting to note that both Corey Graves and Michael Cole had to wear the exact same thing and look exactly the same as they did when the show went on live. But all in all, the Strowman vs Wyatt match was one of the several strong matches at the Money in the Bank, and hopefully it will set things up for the WWE's next pay-per-view. And speaking of WWE's next pay-per-view, now that Money in the Bank is over, what's next for the WWE's pay-per-view lineup? And if you watched the show, you know that WWE announced that Backlash is coming back. The Wrestling Observer Figure 4 Online's Joseph Courier noted that the show will take place on 14th June, and the location of the pay-per-view wasn't announced, but it will presumably take place at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. Following WrestleMania 36 and Money in the Bank, it would be WWE's third closest set pay-per-view since the coronavirus pandemic began. After Backlash, Extreme Rules is scheduled to take place on July 19th. Last year's Backlash show was renamed Stomping Grounds, a name that went over as poorly as Great Balls of Fire did in 2017. Next up, AJ Styles talks fallout from the ladder match. AJ Styles is not happy with the results of this year's men's Money in the Bank ladder match, and he took to Twitter to express his feelings. No one has heard from Aleister Black or Rey Mysterio, Baron Corbin is running from the law, Daniel Bryan is still rearranging furniture in the office, and I was cheated out of Money in the Bank by Otis. A travesty. The Styles looked to have had the briefcase, but he fumbled it, dropping it to the ring where Otis quickly grabbed it, winning the match. That result still makes no sense to us. Shouldn't it be whoever has their hands on it after unhooking it wins? This win touched not one, not two, but 3 different hands. It still makes no sense. We wonder how WWE is going to explain how Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black went off the roof. Are they dead or what? Next up, AEW announces the first entrant in the Double or Nothing ladder match. AEW's upcoming Double or Nothing pay-per-view is going to feature a casino ladder match, with the winner earning a future AEW World Heavyweight Championship match. AEW tweeted, "The first entrant in the casino ladder match is the relentless Darby Allin. Is he your pick to win? Order Double or Nothing this Saturday, May 23rd. Who would you like to see in the match? Let us know in the comments down below." And finally, did WWE allow a superfan to attend Money in the Bank? Last but not least, a recent tweet by WWE Superfan Smiles, aka Green Shirt Guy, has people suggesting he may have been allowed in at the event. The superfan posted pictures of him at the WWE headquarters where the match took place, and with the following message: WWE Money in the Bank tonight. Are you ready for the Money in the Bank ladder matches at WWE Corporate HQ? Who do you think will win? But there you have it guys, the wildest news stories and rumours you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.